He didn't look dangerous or particularly ambitious, just another mild-mannered executive in Manhattan, discreet, well-mannered, a fan of technology and baseball, but behind the friendly face and tailored suits, John Ruffo was orchestrating one of the most audacious financial scams in American history. It was the booming 1990s. The U.S. economy was growing, and the internet was becoming the next big frontier. Companies rushed to modernize their operations. Before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring more chilling true stories like this one, straight from the shadows of finance. Now, get ready to discover just how far someone will go to vanish with millions in their pocket. In this environment, Ruffo, alongside his accomplice Edward Reiners, a former executive at Philip Morris, devised an outrageous scheme. They convinced several banks that they were part of a top-secret cyber defense project contracted by the U.S. government. The pitch was simple. Banks would loan large sums under the name of Philip Morris, believing they were funding a classified operation, but it was all a lie. The documents, contracts, and guarantees, all forged. The project didn't exist. The fraud lasted for years. In total, they swindled approximately $350 million, worth over $500 million today. Ruffo lived like royalty, frequent trips, offshore accounts, fake investments, and a life of luxury built on deception. He bought properties under aliases, invested in shell companies, and maintained a carefully crafted routine to avoid suspicion. When the House of Cards finally collapsed, the FBI acted quickly. Ruffo was tried and convicted on 150 counts of fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. He was sentenced to 17.5 years in federal prison, but the final act of his plan was yet to unfold. In 1998, on the morning he was supposed to report to prison, Ruffo left his Brooklyn home calmly. He told his wife he needed to stop by the bank first. She never saw him again. Dressed casually, carrying a brown briefcase, he looked like a man heading to another business meeting. His rental car was found hours later at a parking lot near JFK Airport. Inside were only a receipt and some clothing. No luggage, no airline. Tickets. No security footage captured his exit. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. The car was parked methodically, away from surveillance. The FBI launched a nationwide manhunt. His wife, devastated, confirmed he had likely fled, but didn't know where to. Friends, family, and former colleagues were questioned. Nothing. Ruffo had disappeared. One final clue remained: the $13 million in stolen funds that were never recovered. To the FBI, it was clear Ruffo had planned his escape meticulously. Fake identities, forged documents, silent transfers of money to foreign accounts. Investigators found evidence of ticket purchases under aliases, hotel reservations in banking secrecy havens, and even rumors of plastic surgery done years before. In the years that followed, sporadic tips trickled in. Some plausible, others pure fantasy. One of the most compelling came in 2016. A surveillance camera at a Dodgers game in Los Angeles captured a man sitting alone, his face nearly identical to Ruffo's. The FBI analyzed the footage and strongly believed it was him. But once again, the trail went cold. The man was never found again. What makes Ruffo so intriguing is the contrast. He wasn't a violent man. He didn't hide in the shadows. He was educated, strategic, cold, a master manipulator who exploited not just banks, but the justice system itself. He understood how extradition treaties worked, knew how to avoid monitored routes, and used his corporate acumen to stay ahead. His case is now a staple in law and criminology courses. How can someone disappear in the digital age? How can they avoid surveillance, border controls, and global law enforcement for decades? Experts are still trying to answer these questions. One widely accepted theory is that Ruffo escaped to Europe or South America, surviving on a network of contacts and cash. Others believe he fled to Southeast Asia, where lack of extradition laws could offer sanctuary. Investigators even found financial traces in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Panama. All had one thing in common: silence. Yet some believe he never left the U.S., that he lives quietly in a suburb under a new name, that he changed his appearance, identity, and past, that he watches stories about himself on the news like it's fiction. In some internal probes, agents speculated he may have even integrated into a new corporate role, far from any public spotlight. Whatever the truth is, it remains out of reach. Over 2 decades later, John Ruffo is still on the FBI's most wanted list. Rewards have been offered, files updated, but nothing has brought them closer to capturing this ghost. He has become a living legend, the name that breaks every rule, and the most chilling part, he could be laughing right now, at the justice system, at the press, at all of us. Because while most criminals chase fame, power, or blood, Ruffo sought something rarer, the perfect disappearance. He didn't want to be a symbol. He wanted to be a mystery, and he succeeded, but the question still lingers, whispered in FBI halls, newsroom cafes, and behind closed doors in Wall Street boardrooms. Where is John Ruffo? Maybe we'll never know. Some say Ruffo had help from people within the very institutions he defrauded, insiders who were never exposed. Could it be that part of the money was used to buy silence, to secure safe passage, or to erase his identity from every known system? There are reports, though unconfirmed, of a man matching Ruffo's profile living in small towns across different states. The sightings are sporadic, fleeting, always vanishing before any real investigation can begin. It's as if he's watching. The search, staying one step ahead, adjusting his moves based on what the world thinks it knows. The legend of John Ruffo has transcended crime. He has become a myth, a symbol of the ultimate escape. A man who turned his back on everything and vanished into the unknown. His story isn't just about fraud, it's about how far someone will go to rewrite their own ending. Maybe he's closer than we think. Or maybe he was never real to begin with. Because when greed meets genius, reality starts to feel like fiction. The case has even inspired writers, filmmakers, and amateur detectives to explore the depths of deception and freedom. Podcasts, documentaries, and online forums have dissected every move Ruffo made, but no one has been able to solve the puzzle. Some FBI agents, now retired, still follow leads on their own time. They claim the case haunts them, not just because he escaped justice, but because he did it with such elegance. No violence, no panic, just a man walking away from a life, perfectly. And maybe that's what makes the story of John Ruffo so unforgettable. It's not just about a con man who disappeared, it's about a man who may have outsmarted the entire system and left behind a silence louder than any confession. If this story gave you chills, drop a like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next dark tale from the world of finance. Share this with someone who loves a good mystery, and tell us in the comments, where do you think John Ruffo is?